So the first concert of the New England Philharmonic season is October 26th. I know it's their 43rd season.
Yes.
What determines how you kick off the 43rd season?
My musical taste.
Of course, impeccable.
And instinct. And has nothing to do with the 43rd season. This is just a season opener. Mm-hmm. So the two main works are works that are more than a century apart. The 5 Pieces for Orchestra by Arnold Schoenberg and Gunther Schuller's late work, a late work that he wrote in 2012. Gunther had quite an affinity and sort of a connection to Arnold Schoenberg. Gunther was self-taught as a young man. He didn't study composition with anyone. And in World War II, when he was about 15, his way of studying these great composers, of German composers during World War II, he had some recordings. He couldn't buy music because they couldn't get music imported from Germany. So he listened to recordings of some of these works by Schoenberg and others of that nature. And from the recordings, he wrote out the scores.
Amazing.
This is the way he was studying these pieces. So these 5 pieces for orchestra are somewhat revolutionary in the way they use the orchestra, and very influential for people coming after that. And the most notable thing, there are 5 movements, and in the 3rd movement, that's where he first started using Klangfarbenmelodie.
Which is?
So sound, color, melody. Not melodic, not melody made of different notes, but melody made of the different colors of various instruments and groups in the orchestra. And that's a particularly beautiful movement. And this was very influential later on for the whole of the 20th century. So Gunther learned from that and other composers that he admired as a young man. And of course, being an ex-French horn player in the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra and the Cincinnati Symphony, he was very good at writing for orchestra. So this piece that he wrote, late piece that he wrote for the Tanglewood Music Center Orchestra in 2012, not only incorporates what he had digested from Schoenberg, but also his own experience in writing music in many, many pieces for orchestra. So it's a very beautiful piece. We have a call for scores program every year, which is international, no age limit. It's won this year by Hilary Purrington, who grew up in Massachusetts, a very beautiful piece. And then there's a piece by Hannah Lash, another composer who's fairly young, who teaches at Yale University. And sort of dessert, as it were, it's a much more serious piece than a dessert, is the Concerto for the Left Hand by Maurice Ravel. And Jeffrey Swan is a New York pianist who's playing that. In addition to being a great piece of music, I think, and I think most people wonder, how in the world can any pianist play what Ravel wrote with just one hand? But it's, I think, a lot of extremely good music packed into one concert.
Remarkable technique required.
Yes.
And sometimes dessert can be serious business.
Well, yes, just like comedy can be serious business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.